welcome back to my channel. It is Monday. I took the weekend off and I hope you guys had a wonderful time with your friends, family, or whatever you were doing to keep yourself entertained. It's summertime in 2020, which is a different kind of summertime, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I wanted to just go and jump right into the discussion about Tyson Gardner. So last week, I actually broke a story about Tyson Gardner and his messages that he was sending to fans. You know, the kind that you shouldn't be sending. And shortly after that, Tyson actually, shortly after I did my video, he actually released a statement and fessed up to what he was doing. In the message, he actually claimed that, he was doing these things and he shouldn't have. And even though he was doing them, he was upset because his wife had been receiving messages that she should not be receiving. And he felt terribly about that because he said that it wasn't her fault that he was doing these things. It was his. So he went as far as confessing but not confessing, and he apologized but didn't apologize. And ultimately, it left some fans kind of annoyed and irritated because it was like, all right, so you think that you're going to get this, you're going to get away with this, or you're just going to disconnect and everything will then be fine. Obviously, a lot of people had a lot of things to say about it. I just want to say right off the bat, I am inundated to this day still with messages. I can't even tell you. I have probably received more than 50 messages from people claiming to have had similar experiences. And the age range is wide, you guys. I know a lot of you were saying that it was just going to be with the younger fans, but it's not. I had women in their 30s telling me that they had received messages. I saw screenshots of messages in which he sent them to women in their 30s, some even in their 40s, of him sending messages. One woman even received messages where he was in the shower. I mean, this was not a guy that was online doing the right things. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of what it is, he's a man that has children and a wife. So in one of the videos I did, the last one, actually didn't get a lot of views because I think I did it as a live stream. Either way, in that video, I shared some screenshots from a young girl who had received messages from him basically implying that he was interested in her and couldn't stop thinking about her. The most common thread that I received from all of the people that sent me messages was that when the communication started, they were just amazed that he would even comment on them, that he would even follow them, that he would even take the time to have conversations with them. And when it started, they were so excited to be able to speak to someone that they looked up to, either as, a YouTuber or as a father or whatever. And because of that, a lot of times they didn't know what to say or how to react. With that being said, with so many people coming forward, obviously, I think it would be hard for the family to ignore this. Obviously, it means that something deeper has been going on, whether it's, I don't want to imply that he did anything inappropriate in terms of physically or he took it further than it needed to be, because I only want to go with what I have on paper or on screenshot, which is words. However, Ashley actually finally broke her silence over the weekend. And I apologize, I didn't get this to you sooner because, I took the day off. So she released this on her actually multiple platforms. After all that has come out in the last few days, I don't even know how to express my feelings. I'm struggling to even process everything. Nothing seems real. I feel shattered. I am lost, confused, ashamed, embarrassed, hurt, and humiliated. I've always been blessed with your love, support, and prayers. I need them now more than ever. Please pray for me and my sweet babies. Please be patient with me. I need a chance to find my way. I need space for grace. I love you all. Your support means more than you could ever express. Now, she cross-posted this in all places. She put this in her Facebook group for her makeup. She did this on multiple pages on her Instagram, including her personal Instagram, which she uses to sell makeup. And then subsequently, she actually stepped away from all of her Instagram. And one of her friends named Amanda is now doing everything on her personal Instagram. So Ashley's taking a break. And like I said, I don't know that we should actually blame Ashley. In fact, some people even pointed out that maybe it wasn't Ashley that even responded to them. It could have been Tyson, since Tyson is known to run a lot of their social media. It's hard to know that Ashley was the person responding to that individual that sent those messages. It could have been Tyson. We have no idea because it's a joint account. Even if that person said it's Ashley, it could have been Tyson posing as Ashley. So I think we definitely need to temper our feelings about what Ashley's role in this is, because I don't think there is necessarily a role. I think no matter what, she's a woman, she's a wife, she did not deserve this, she does not deserve this, and she does deserve people to be compassionate, because no one should have to deal with this. This is a level of, I would say, public humiliation that no one should have to experience. I want to point out, though, this is not the first time that this family has actually known about this. Also, I want to point out that her father is still defending him. So one of the issues here is that allegations about this came out way back in 2018. And during that time, it was from Snapchats. And I told you about those messages where he was sending winky faces and loving messages to young people. At that time, the family sort of brushed it off, and so I want to show you something really quick from her mom. Mimi, the grandmother, Ashley's mother, actually reached out to a fan that had made a comment about some of the messages that had been uncovered, and they wrote, "I've deleted your post. Tyson was just trying to be nice to these sweet kids. Anyone knows him knows it was completely innocent. I am amazed at people that are trying to make that it's something that it is not. In retrospect, I'm sure it will never happen again. It is a sad world we live in where some people look at everything in a dark way. I'm sure you were just trying to protect him, but there's nothing here. Just haters making something out of nothing. Him showing these kids appreciate for their support. We are simply sick and honestly appalled at what has been being suggested." Now that message was actually from 2018. And so she said at that time that this was all false and that it would never happen again. Tyson would never be involved in this sort of behavior. He would never interact in this sort of way. And his Snapchat sort of went quiet after that. And we didn't see it, but people kept talking about it on the boards like YouTube Mama Drama and the Guru Gossip. Like, there's all kinds of Reddit. I mean, there's lots of places where people talk about YouTubers. In those forums, people continue to see that there might be things going on. And obviously now, where we have dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people coming out and saying it happened to me, it happened to me, it happened to me, it happened to me, clearly the behavior did not change. And so with the family sort of dismissing it back then, could have something been done if they took it more seriously? I think some families just want to see the best. Denial is a very big place to live. You don't want to think that your family members are even involved in that. But the problem here is not only in the middle of all of this, her father is still on Instagram defending him. And this part of it is just making me feel like perhaps Ashley is involved or surrounded by people that just don't want her to see the truth or want her to stick this out for her children due to her faith, or somehow believe that because this is online that everyone is lying. Now, obviously, there is this propensity online that people get on the hate train and one person starts something and a million people can say things. But generally speaking, if you get so many people saying things, typically, if they can provide evidence, which I've received a lot of, generally these accusations are not unfounded. And then the fact that Tyson actually admitted to it proves to me that something was going on. But her dad was suggesting that, it's not what we think it is. So in a comment on in a response to someone on Instagram, he wrote, "People have been attacking the Gardners from day one. They couldn't even get the babies home from the hospital before it started. I can only assume they are trolls, and I find some morbid pleasure in doing so. I assure you that Tyson is neither, nor is he you saw his statement. He and Ash have gotten help and are dealing with it. They need prayers and support, not all of this judgmental hyperbole." So he was insinuating that Tyson is not into men and also not into young fans. I don't know how Tyson got help. I have no idea. He claims through the help of his friends and through family and church, maybe. I don't know. Being that church is definitely not the number one place I would go to if I needed help in this situation, because we all know how that worked with the Catholic Church or with, let's say, Josh Duggar. It didn't work. I would say, the only way that it could actually be remedied is if there was proper authorities involved. Now, I did speak to someone who reached out to the police department, and they said that they were going to be reporting him for various actions. I have no idea if that's happened. I did see some screenshots from the local officers in the area saying that if people did have any credible evidence along with statements, they were encouraged to contact the department in his area and they would take a look at it, because in the state of Utah, it is actually illegal to use the internet to speak in the way in which he did to young fans. With that being said, with so many people having these statements, again, if you feel like something happened that was beyond the scope of appropriate, do what you need to do to take care of yourself and to protect yourself. Obviously, nobody should be going out and like sending Ashley negative messages. People should not be going around and being any sort of mean to this family. The family is sort of in damage control, trying to probably protect their brand and their image. And this is the kind of thing that could destroy a brand and an image. So we can't really trust anything that they say publicly. We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. We have no idea how this is impacting the family, how it's impacting their marriage, and what her parents actually think. Publicly, they're supporting him. Privately, who knows? With that being said, I don't know how Tyson would come back from this, to be honest. I don't know that YouTube would welcome him. This story is starting to get a whole heck of a lot more coverage, and I don't think unless something happens to actually have him looked at, people will be satisfied. And I think there was always going to be this level of question about his behavior online because of what he's done. We know in the past that this type of behavior can lead to escalating behaviors, and so you want to be careful about who it is that you're interacting with online. As I've suggested in previous videos, make sure that you as a parent know who your kids are talking to online. Make sure that they're not interacting with adults that they don't know. Make sure that you have conversations with your children about what's appropriate and inappropriate in the communication that they have with strangers online. And as always, you can install protections onto your children's cell phones as well as onto their computers to ensure that they don't have access to these types of things. And as always, most social media accounts come with an age limit, and it's for a reason, but that doesn't mean that parental guidance stops once that age limit is met. Nobody should assume that every person online is around for good intentions. In fact, there's a lot more people online sitting behind computers anonymously trying to do things that are bad versus all the good that's happening. So obviously be cautious with your kids online. If that, and as well to the young girls that were involved in this, just know that none of this was your fault. It's not your fault for trusting someone or for thinking or being a part of someone. I saw a lot of comments on Ashley's post that the girls are to blame, which is simply not true. These girls are not to blame. Nobody is to blame other than Tyson for having these conversations, for reaching out to these girls, and for saying the things that he said. No person beyond that is at fault. All right, you guys, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye.